Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest bathed in soft morning sunlight, tall bamboo trees swayed gently in the breeze while birds chirped and butterflies fluttered through the air. At the heart of this jungle stood a giant banana tree with lush green leaves and golden fruit hanging low from its thick branches. Sitting high up on one of those branches was a small monkey named Ajee. Ajee had bright golden yellow fur that shimmered in the sunlight, big expressive eyes full of mischief, and a tiny black nose that twitched when he got excited. His cheeks were fluffy, and his little red cloth tied around his waist flapped in the wind like a hero's cape. He peeled a banana slowly, munching happily as he swung from branch to branch, giggling when he slid down a banana peel like it was a slide. He looked around proudly at his home, the jungle, and smiled. But one morning, something strange happened. When Ajee woke up and reached for a banana, there was none. He blinked in surprise and looked around. The tree was bare. The once lush leaves were now drooping slightly and the branches were empty. No bananas anywhere. Ajee scratched his head, his ears drooping with worry. He shook the tree gently, sniffed a leaf, and even poked a branch with a stick, hoping maybe the bananas were hiding. But nothing worked. With a sad sigh, he packed a few nuts into a small leaf bag and pointed toward the distant forest with a determined look in his big eyes. He was going on an adventure. He hopped through bushes, climbed over mossy rocks, and past buzzing dragonflies until he finally reached the edge of a wide, fast-flowing river. Sparkles danced across the water, and frogs jumped from lily pad to lily pad. Ajee stood on a mossy rock at the river's edge, scratching his head and wondering how to cross. Suddenly, with a loud splash, out rose a large dark green alligator named Guai. Guai had sharp teeth that stuck out even when his mouth was closed, 2 round eyes that sparkled with mischief, and a bumpy back that made him look like a floating log. His crooked tail waved lazily in the water as he floated upright. "Only those who can answer my riddle may pass," Guai said in a deep but playful voice. Ajee blinked, then nodded bravely. "I'm ready for your riddle," he said, hopping onto a nearby rock and sitting cross-legged with his chin in his hand. Guai cleared his throat and began dramatically, "I have no wings, but I can fly. I have no feet, yet I race by. I have no eyes, but I see the way. What am I?" Ajee thought hard, his eyes narrowing, his little nose twitching. Then suddenly he snapped his fingers and beamed with excitement. "The wind. The answer is the wind." Guai's jaw dropped open in shock. His pointy teeth gleamed in the sunlight and his eyes blinked rapidly. Grumbling, he sank back into the water, disappearing with a quiet splash. Ajee giggled and carefully danced across a series of stepping stones that jutted out of the river, shouting, "I did it!" Behind him, on the other side of the river, he found himself in a sunny meadow filled with wildflowers. Right in the middle stood a golden banana tree full of ripe bananas just waiting to be picked. Ajee climbed up and began eating happily, swinging from branch to branch and enjoying every bite. As he munched away, a slow, gentle voice called out, "You must be clever to have passed Guai." Ajee turned and saw a cute old green turtle named Toothy. Toothy had a smooth shell covered in ancient patterns and wore a tiny piece of bark like a scarf around his neck. His eyes were kind and wise. "I just used my brain instead of my strength," replied Ajee with a shy smile. Toothy nodded slowly. "Wisdom is the greatest power of all." From that day on, Ajee became known throughout the jungle not for being the strongest or fastest, but for being the cleverest and kindest little monkey around. He shared his bananas with everyone and reminded the animals that brains are stronger than claws, and kindness is stronger than fear. And so, the clever little monkey continued to swing through the trees, sharing stories, laughter, and banana slices with all his friends. Meanwhile, far below in the river, Guai the Gator peeked out from the water, with a grudging smile, still showing his pointy teeth.